What was here before was a gyratory, part of the 1960s, 70s traffic planning. So 3 to 4 lanes of traffic, snarling round an underground subway. So pedestrians were kept away from the motor vehicles, but actually people didn't like the subways. So most people just crossed at street level very dangerously. It wasn't the most dangerous location in the city, but it certainly was dangerous, and we had a death soon before the project formally started, so that was something that was very prescient in people's minds. The objectives for the project were to heal what wasn't working in the local community, so deal with noise, deal with pollution, deal with severance. And they were the key objectives for the project. So the fact that a gyratory was taken out was actually the means to an end rather than the specific reason in the first place to deliver the project. The project itself sorted out a lot of traffic circulation. These streets are deemed important for London, so we had to work with and get approval from Transport for London, which meant that actually the work had to be sorted out, organised and verified in a very professional way to ensure that Transport for London could say yes, and more critically that they avoid the no. It's actually the second largest space within the City of London, created from public highway, previously just motor vehicles running around here. There are many different communities in the area, the residential community, the business community in particular, and also there's a church and a primary school, the only primary school in the City of London here. So lots of different needs to be met. So within the space we've got a lot of informal seating, and one can see all around people having their lunch. There's an area of grass behind me which is absolutely packed in the spring, summer and autumn, but it's just got a little cold and damp for that to be used now. So all of those things work. People pass through the space, it's a natural confluence. Cyclists pass through the space as well to ensure that they are able to do so safely, but also interact well with what's going on in the space. The cycle track is slightly to the side, but it's connected into the cycling infrastructure within the city and within London. There's a pavilion building, which is a cafe. It was really important that actually there was activity and animation and visibility through that. So at no point during the week, either night times or at weekends, was this space a sort of dead space attracting antisocial activity. So that's achieved. The cafe is actually run by a social enterprise which ticks a lot of boxes politically as well. The lighting is designed to be on through the night as well and paid for by the city, so that actually the space is illuminated around the building. There are quiet spaces, and they are very much for the local residential community, but also work very well for the business community. So there are contemplative areas, little fountains, quiet gardens, and actually fencing that can be, and gates that are shut at dusk, so that actually those spaces aren't used for antisocial purposes. As a result of this project, delivering the space, but also moving the motor vehicles away and very carefully ensuring that the standing motor vehicles, the queues, were away from the school as well. The school and the children within the school experience air quality that is better than the EU standards. The outturn project was 25 million. There were over 40 separate funding sources. Just under half the money came from the London government, Transport for London, which was an executive arm of the mayor. Nearly all of the rest came from planning contributions from the buildings in the city. So mainly Section 106 contributions through the planning process, some Section 278 where there were changes necessary to the public realm and the highway as a result of new buildings. So all of that was gathered together. And ultimately paid for it. I think the city put in about 10% of the funding. I think one of the most important aspects about delivering great projects is engagement. And going through a process that actually works with local people to sort of identify what's required, not only what people want, but what they need, that works incredibly well with the politicians as well, because they know that their electorate are going to be happy. It helps to justify the scale and scope of a particular project. If you start well and you've got a really good process, you'll get a great product.